telling your students to read the material or view your PowerPoints, but this gives more of an interactive way. If I'm getting PowerPoints given to me, yeah, that gives me the information, but if I'm able to hear a voiceover at least, it gives me that feeling that instructor is in the classroom or is there with me, presenting some of that stuff to me, and that helps on our different types of learners. And even we have our visual learners too that are going to see that material. And if you have a webcam and there's something that you can hold in front of that webcam and be able to show. For example, I had a faculty member the other day talking about eye color. And it was great to go to that office, and it was Paul, right? And he was talking about the different eye colors and things like that. And I said, wouldn't it be great if you had a webcam and just showed your eyes for a demonstration? It gives that real-time feel. I had another instructor come and say, I don't like this area. I don't want to be able to just draw on the screen. I want the students to see my hand, actually working math problems on the paper. It gives them that feeling that you're actually there. And the good thing about it is we can host these on YouTube for the students to be able to see. And then instead of putting these videos into Blackboard and taking up the space, we can use YouTube and actually just plug these in. And there's more than one way to add a YouTube video to Blackboard, and training will show you how to do those things. And I tell people who come to visit me for training now, there's going to be different ways that you're going to want to add those videos. Sometimes you may want to add a thumbnail into Blackboard, which is going to save space. It's going to allow for more real estate. But sometimes if you're using a learning module, you may want to add a larger screen just to cover that. So that lets you and I come together and kind of explore some of those things. But like I said, I used Doceri, I used Camtasia Studio, and Camtasia has been around for a good while. Right now we have, I probably should have polled this, but I'd like to know how many of you in here have done lecture captures with some sort of software, with a voiceover at least? Yeah, and Nicole, I figured you had. I've heard about that. Nicole's actually done some flipped classroom stuff. Is that right? So we have some that have already done that, and I'd like to hear from you myself to see what you've done to give some ideas also, and I'm sure everyone else in here who is interested in that would like to also. But kind of breaking these down, Doceri, I showed this President Borsig saw this, and he seemed like he was really impressed, so he asked for an upscaled pilot to go along with this. And currently it is definitely supported on the iPad, and I've played around with that on the Windows tablet also. It's on the Windows tablet, but I can't say that I really like it. And that just goes to show multiple platforms. Sometimes you're going to run into some bumps, but I won't go too much further into that. But I've actually played around with it on both of them, so it does work. What you can do with it, you're able to draw on the screen. You're able to import images. You can't import videos into Doceri. But you can bring images in, do annotations. And the good thing is, anything that you import onto the screen, you can grab it and move it. So if you bring something in, you don't like where it is, you can select it, you can drag and drop it. And another good thing is to your students also, if you want to have a student move maybe an A to the answer over here, then you can say, since I'm in a multiple user environment, you can tell this student, whoever wants to answer it, to drag and drop their answers there. And anyone in your class, as long as they've got a compatible device, they can answer a question or interact with that screen, or they can also use the pointer just like you. You can also set timelines, so you can prepare lessons in advance. So if you have your iPad and you're at home and you want to create something to display to your students, then you can draw out a word here, you can set a marker on your timeline, draw out another word, and then whenever you get to class, you hit the play button and it shows step by step what you've drawn on there. And I can actually train all of this. The ones who are going to be in the pilot, you know who you are. I'm going to show you how to do this stuff so that you can use it in your class. Yes?
How far are we from being able to provide faculty with iPads?
That is a good question. And it's one I can't answer, but it's a really good question. And I'll tell you, in the perfect world, all faculty would have some sort of mobile device, and I would love to see students walk in, with something to be able to interact with the students. But that's a really good question, and it's one I know that I can't answer. Sorry. Another good thing too is you can actually upload the content that you create on your iPad, upload it directly to YouTube, and you can also do voiceovers. So without even using your computer, you can create a lesson for your students and send it up to YouTube, and then come back to YouTube and add that video to your course. And another thing that I like too is, like I said, you can walk around all around your class. And whenever I do workshops that I've done in the past at Mississippi State, I would actually have to sometimes walk to my students. If they would get stuck on something, I would have to walk over, break from the class, and actually stop teaching. But with this technology, I can visit anyone in the class and still continue teaching. The next technology that I used was Camtasia Studio, and it's compatible with Apple and as well Windows. A really nice interface. And what you saw me record earlier, I walked into that classroom after I'd installed it, double-clicked the program, it opened up, and I hit start. And it started recording. As soon as I was through, I plugged in my jump drive, copied the file down, and I walked out. And the files, they're a little bit different today than what they used to be. They used to be actually pretty large. I saw Nicole nod your head. They used to be actually really large if you were recording a webcam interface with those. What I would like to see in the future is for there to be classrooms on this campus that had cameras in the ceiling to where you could go and do a lecture capture if you like. And I'm working with a vendor on seeing, what the cost of that technology will be. With Camtasia, like I said, you can record your screen. Camtasia Studio Editor lets you take existing videos that you have. So if you go out into the field with your iPhone or with your iPad or with your Android device, either one, or with a camera, you can take that output and import that into the Camtasia Studio, and you can do voiceovers. Camtasia also allows you to do captions. It allows you to do annotations on top of that as well. All kinds of good things, and I train all of that. So come see me if you'd like training on that. And it has an option to directly upload to YouTube as well. So once you're through with your production, share and upload to YouTube and just walk away. YouTube, it was something else. I thought everybody knew how to upload a video to YouTube. I walked into a class to work with some students, and none of them in there knew how to do it. And I offer training on that as well. There's a new course that I've created. It's called YouTube MUW, and it probably takes about 30 minutes to do. Every one of you in here should have access to that course, and so should your students. So if you were to, everybody knows about two-step authentication for our distance instructors. I actually had to do that this summer for 2 classes. I had to record a video of myself for each and upload those videos to YouTube and submit those to my instructors, along with a picture ID. And with the YouTube MUW course, your students should know how to do that. And there's also a section in there that'll show them how to do a video with their phone and upload that directly into YouTube. Once they're through, they grab the URL and plug it into your assignment. And the share options in YouTube also, like I said, in Blackboard, you can do a YouTube mashup for Blackboard. You can embed a single video, and you can also embed a playlist of videos in the Blackboard also. And whenever someone comes to a training session with me, I'll grab my paper and my pen and I'll take notes, and I'll say, how are we going to do this? And we'll lay out options, and when they walk out, they're going to have their videos situated in there like they want them. Sometimes they may not use a playlist. Sometimes they may have one video and go to different learning modules and place videos in that way. But you will have training on that. And last is Blackboard. Who is able to add YouTube content to their course? That's going to be instructors and students. So if you have a student that you want to submit a video, they can actually do an embedded video from YouTube into your course also. They can do a YouTube mashup as well. Where can they add these to? To individual instructors can add those to content areas. You can also add YouTube videos to assignments, discussion board, as well as tests. So you're able to add this video content anywhere in your course. Anywhere that you see a content editor or you see the action bar that's got the build content button at the top of it. And I'm just about through. Face-to-face training, I've got 2 computers in my office. I would love to see you. Anybody who wants to come and get training, believe me, I have time. Email me or just drop by or call. And I'd be glad to work with anybody on any of these. And I'm not restricted just to these. I mean, if there's some other technology that you want to look into or explore, I'll do my best to help you out with them. And after you come to a face-to-face training session with me, depending on if we have the course or not, I have online training courses that are going to back those up. So if you come to a Blackboard Learn Getting Started training course with me, I'm automatically going to enroll you in a online course that's going to have the same content that's what I taught you in class. But the benefit of coming to see me is you actually get to have it tailored to your needs. Not everybody may want to use blogs. Some may want to use discussion boards instead. So we'll figure that out together and tailor your training to that. And my last slide is any questions for me? I hope I have some.
Do we have access to Camtasia? What kind of license issue is that? Is that something we have to pay for out of our pocket? What is the issue on how do we access that?
I may need some help on answering some of these questions from Dr. Hatton in the back, since he is back there. But I actually emailed our Camtasia representative, and I'm talking to see, what our licensing structure is going to look like on that. Right now, I don't know an indefinite number on what it's even going to cost us because of how many faculty members we have here on campus. So I'll have to get back with you on that. There is a 30-day trial for Camtasia, and it does everything. I mean, it is Camtasia, essentially. Do your students need Camtasia? I seriously doubt it. I think they can, as a matter of fact, in Blackboard, there's actually an option. There's a little red webcam-looking button, and whenever you get back to your office, if you want to look at it, try to add some new content you're going to see in your content editor. It's down at the bottom. It's a webcam recorder. So if they sit in front of that webcam recorder, it'll actually upload it directly to YouTube for them. So there's no need for any kind of outside software. Or if they have their cell phone and they're out in the field and they wanted to record something, or if they're at home and just want to record themselves that way, then that's possible.
When you say the students can download their assignments, their video assignments into Blackboard, where does that show up? Is it like in the Grade Center? Or where was that?
In two-step authentication, one of the procedures that's listed in our distance ed handbook, I guess is the terminology. It's one of the procedures that I have listed online on the faculty development section of the Academic Affairs website. Basically, an instructor, probably one of the easier ways to do it is the instructor creates an assignment and says, record your YouTube video. That YouTube video will be in YouTube. All they're going to do is just take the link to the video in YouTube and paste it into the type submission here text box. And in that same assignment, they would basically just upload a picture of their driver's license with, of course, with some tape or something across their Social Security or their driver's license number.
If this video were, say, a 30-minute long video, you would accept that?
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually an option, there's actually instruction in the YouTube MUW course that shows how to do extended videos. I mean, you can go 3 hours on some of these things if the instructor wanted to watch something that long. But probably for the most part, and like I said, I really kind of push this whenever I'm talking to anybody. That instructional video that you saw me do, I never paused. I was up there talking the whole time, and then I kept on talking, and then I said, okay, now we're going with this second section. And I just went in and created a marker in Camtasia and let Camtasia split it up for me. So, so they can do that. So that keeps your video short. Like I said, probably 4 to 5 minutes is going to be really long. But some instructors can't help that. Nursing, for example, has videos that are going to be sometime an hour long. So if your student has, and by the way, I will add too, be sure and throw in there for your student, if you're uploading it from your phone, be sure to be around a Wi-Fi hotspot. Don't use your cellular data to upload that, or it'll definitely eat you up. Yeah.
Some of the students have
Yeah, yeah.
And they would not work.
Right.
Like our computers that they have here today.
Yeah.
And we were just wondering what those issues were.
Yeah, from what I can understand, they are using a response card NXT over there at Mississippi State, which is probably what I'm more used to. And over here, we're using a RF clicker, and the receivers are a little bit different. What we're going to have to do is work with Turning Technologies just to get some updated receivers, and that's definitely a good point. I'm going to have to take note of that. So that's something I can definitely jump on. But I actually have some receivers in my office too, so I'll look into swapping those out too.
Yeah, half of our computers, they have some
Right. Okay. Good questions so far. Anybody else, please? Yeah.
One of the things that you and I have talked about is, in addition to a classroom that can be lecture capture,
Mm-hmm.
to increase flexibility of delivery notes. I would love to see one where not only it can capture, but it can transmit out.
Very good point. Very good point.
Because in two of my online classes in the past year, I've had people say, I can tune in
Mm-hmm.
during your lecture time, but I cannot leave work. I'm there to get back to work in the time I'm allotted.
Right.
And those are true, that's a hybrid course by definition, where you have some students taking it as a face-to-face lecture, and the hybrid component are the online students that are coming in.
Right.
And I don't even care if we start off with something as simple as Skype
Right.
as the output.
Yeah.
But that's, I don't know what room on campus to try and configure with all this. We certainly have some that would lend themselves to it easier than others.
Right.
But if there is something like that where priority can be given to the use of that room to classes that are trying these hybrid formats, that would be spectacular.
That's such a good point. And like I said too, I'm talking to a vendor right now, and as soon as I get some feedback on some, and I think everybody right now is busy. I know all of y'all are. And this guy, he has got more than just one school to work with. But he and I walked around, looked at some of our classrooms so far. As soon as I can get some configurations, some baseline configurations that we can add some stuff to, that's when I'm going to come to chairs and say, hey, which rooms, or I mean deans and chairs, and say, which rooms do you think are going to be suitable? Which option out of this cafeteria plan is going to need option A, B, and C, or just A? Not all of them are going to need, everything. So that's a really good point. And another thing that you brought up too was, some sort of like Skype or something like that. I've actually done lecture recordings to where I had somebody on a Google Hangout session with me, and I used Doceri with that, and they were actually able to see the interactive whiteboard, features that I had done there, and it really worked out good. I don't really think it matters what video collaboration tool you use. If you like Skype, use it. The good thing about Google Hangouts is all of your students, whenever they come to campus, they've automatically got a Google account through My Apps. So they're going to be able to log into that. You're going to be able to shoot them a calendar, an event for a Hangout, and they're going to be able to join that.
What's going on with my app? Yes, right now. Thank you. Right. Because I know that
Michael?
I had three in my office today that could not get into theirs at all.
I think we jumped over to, and Michael may be able to nod yes or no, I think we jumped over to single sign-on. Is that right, with My Apps? Okay, that would definitely be a Rodney Godfrey question then. Is that right? I think Rodney may be able to help on that, and I don't want to send a whole horde of people his way. But I did get an email that said something about we were moving My Apps over, if anybody can agree to that or not. But I'll look into that and find out something and see if we can get some email. And I say we can see if we can get some email sent out. Students can't really check their email if they can't get into it. So I'll have to let you know. Okay? And I'm taking notes here while we're at it. Anybody else? Anybody? Very good. Well, I think that's it then. Well, good luck this fall, and if you need me, I'm in the campus directory, and also you can just type me in on email and just get with me. But don't hesitate to come to trainings. And by the way, one more thing I'll end with: the 2 weeks after Labor Day, I'm going to have a series of training. I'd highly recommend looking on the Academic Affairs website. It shows all of the trainings that I offer. It's going to be on Camtasia, Hangouts, YouTube, Blackboard, and I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah. So be sure to come see me if you can. Thanks, y'all.